Yeah, 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 yeah. I was sleeping, had to wake up. Why? Every reason I can think of. God, till the day I keep the ink up.
What's up, YouTube? Today, we'll be looking at disturbing TikToks that'll make you question reality. So without further ado, welcome to Adam Strain Reacts. Let's get her done.
This is how we became a conquered people with a forgotten past. Little by little, piece by piece, removing all traces of a beautiful past, replacing the architecture above that was made to uplift and inspire its people with the architecture below with the exact opposite intentions. As we shuffle along to our 9-to-5s and our glass boxes, we are oblivious to the beauty that was once there. A people unaware of their true past and their true potentials are made to be the perfect drones, where back then the focus of the building was its beauty and aesthetics, while today the focus is on consumerism. Speaking of this McDonald's, look what they've even done in recent times. You can't strip all the beauty and color from the world overnight. And I know McDonald's is far from a good place to eat, but just look what McDonald's used to be. Colorful, bright, and vibrant. A place where it was a treat to take our kids to every once in a while, where their imaginations could run wild. Who remembers the little burger seats or the forest that McDonald's used to have in them? Now the interiors all look like an ugly corporate meeting room. Little by little, drip by drip, this has been going on for some time. Replace all the beauty with bland and lifelessness, reflecting the society that built it. Question everything, friends. Until next time. The insides of these World's Fairs were made just as beautiful and intricate as the grounds outside. And yet again, it displays a showcase of how our past was leagues ahead of our own abilities, housing an inside zoo and a zoo of people, and many, many elaborate displays. These look like anything but temporary. From the inside out, these are absolutely stunning. I believe, if anything, these to be the fairs of the inheritors, the controllers taking over the lands of a fallen empire and showing it off, showing off all the technology and the works of the old world. His story has been written by the conquerors. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
There is a physical manifestation of the millennial kingdom. If the devil was bound, you'd have a time of peace and prosperity. And then maybe you would have a time where people could create grand buildings, create grand art, music, everything. We don't even understand, probably because I do believe the devil is very active today, as most people probably understand that follow me. The devil, the demons, they are super active. We don't even know how many negative effects that they inflict on us all the time, because we wrestle not against flesh and blood. We don't know how much our thoughts get cloudy because of spiritual darkness around us. And then again, you put that on a macro scale, like everybody's affected by this spiritual warfare and oppression. If that was lifted, if the devil was bound and put in a pit, is that possibly that humans could do a lot more than they do now, because there was this freedom in your own mind, your headspace, to not be inflicted by these demonic beings? I think that you couldn't help but have physical results of that. So if the saints are ruling in heaven and they're doing it better than the corrupt sons of God, I believe there would be positive effects on the earth, and we'd be able to see the evidence of that. And maybe that evidence is the grand buildings, the grand cathedrals, the art, the statues and stuff. It doesn't mean that everyone was perfect on earth, but it does mean that there was an allowance for people to do more than they're doing now.
Now that we know who didn't discover America, this guy right here, let's talk about who it wasn't named after. Amerigo Vespucci. Yeah, you remember that footnote in your history book that said Columbus discovered America, but they named 2 continents after this guy instead, Amerigo, or as his mama called him, Alberigo. Who names 2 continents after some guy's first name? So why did they name it that? Well, we're taught it's because this map, the 1507 Walt C. Miller map, which is the first place the New World was labeled the Americas, this combined with a letter from a Florentine bishop, a friend of Amerigo, gave credit to his friend for the discovery and the naming. But according to the Spanish, that might not be true, because Europeans didn't actually name America. It was already named that. You know, the people who already lived there, who didn't think it needed to be discovered because they were already there, they called their home America, or various spellings of such. So why did they name it that? Well, it's very likely because of this. The South Americans worshipped a god called Amaru, or Amaru Ka, a feathered serpent. And Amaru Ka to the Aztecs was Quetzalcoatl. So according to Manly P. Hall, the children of the sun adored the plumed serpent. So much so they named the whole place after him. Amaru Ka literally translates into land of the plumed serpent. So no, it wasn't named after some guy. It was named after some old serpent.
This was an electric quick...
Very interesting. What do you guys think about that? Because I do remember the time when I was in history class and they were teaching me about America, and they were saying that they named it after the map maker. I always found that weird. Like, why didn't they call it Columbia or something like that, right? For Columbus, or for the actual person doing the exploration and not necessarily for the map maker. I always found that weird. But with the link towards the ancient civilizations of Mexico, it actually makes a bit more sense. And it actually connects back to Tupac. Because Tupac, I think that was the plan of his name, was Tupac Amaru Shakur. So the idea, I think, is pretty close to that. They probably knew something or had lineage towards it. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think America was named after Amerigo Vespucci, or was it named after something that was already here? And regarding the videos before, with the demon possession and the beautiful buildings, I feel like demon possession is like a word that we put, but the question that comes to my mind is more, if you compare living around those buildings the way they were built before, beautiful, ornate, pieces of art, basically. Like, maybe you could call it demon possession or demon oppression, the fact of living in these cardboard boxes, because basically, let's say humans get inspired. So if I put you in a place that is beautiful, made of art, that is an expression of the beauty of this world, you might have a different thinking process. You might come with different solutions, with different thinking results. So maybe that's the whole thing. Instead of calling it demon, maybe it's just us not being at our top, at our divine, because it feels like we sort of sacrificed beauty for convenience. But my question is, a few generations down the line, what happens when, they say you're a product of your environment? What is the product of this type of environment compared to the product of a glorious, majestic, beautiful, ornate, So do you guys think that it makes a difference? Do you guys think the buildings have an effect on us? Do you guys think that whether we live in a 16 chapel or whether we live in a square box, it's the same? It's up to us. Let me know down below, and let's keep on rocking.
Service station for electric-powered taxis in 1940. The fleet of taxis would just pull up, and they would quickly swap out the battery, almost like a NASCAR pit crew. It's funny, they had fleets of electric vehicles, electric taxis like this, electric trucks, so much. I went to the Museum of Science and Industry this spring in Chicago, and they had a whole wing of the history of the automobile. Not one of these electric vehicles were shown. Just the reintroduced technology from today, like the Teslas and stuff. Nothing on these electric trucks here. Nothing on these electric buses. It's like they didn't want you to know the capabilities and power of the past. And the parasites can keep on charging as a premium for their petroleum-based vehicles. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
You've been lied to your whole life?
I will never stop being amazed by the amount of inventions that come from the 1800s or before. It is truly amazing. It's very sad that they've erased this from our past. Do you guys think that it's true that we had electric cars way back in the days and we just reintroduced the technology? Let me know down below. Let's keep on rocking.
And don't even know it.
This was the biggest realization I had when I moved to Asia. We were bred to be absolute fucking slaves. Everything you do is in the best interest of massive corporations and the government's control over you. You're sold on a consumeristic ideology that you need the bigger house, the fastest car, and the flashiest bust down. The Federal Reserve is in fact the biggest scam in human history. And you're told that happiness is only attainable if it's bought. People out here don't have shit, but they're happier than you will ever be. You literally have the option to be here right now, but instead you fell for the trap to sit in a cubicle thinking that one day that will allow you to get here. It's the most genius trap to make the wealthy wealthier and the poorer poorer. As soon as we stop participating in this fucking rat race, watch how the
Escape it
elites
when you can.
shit their pants when the cash flow
Weird.
stops.
Windows 10.
Wow, that was a gem. It always amazed me the way we were raised, where, go to school for 20 years, go to work for 40 years, and then you'll be able to do what you want. Makes no sense. Because in my mind, if you've never worked the muscle of happiness, you don't even know how to be happy, And if you've never cultivated hobbies, passions, and things to do, you'll get at that moment and you won't really know what to do. So if I have one piece of advice, try to live it, man. Try to live it before you die. Because I know that money and, like you said, the rat race and all that, it seems real. But life is very short. So try to live it. Try to live it as much as you can. Try to be happy daily. Even if you're in a bad situation, try to accept it and move towards a better situation. Try not to get stuck in a rut of negative thinking, because I feel like that keeps us stuck in the mud. Anyways, who am I, right? Doesn't matter. Best of luck to everyone, and let's keep on rocking. This ain't over.
Is officially dead. And now spyware that takes screenshots of everything you do every few seconds comes built in with Windows 11. This is real. Microsoft even bragged about it, and it's some Black Mirror in real life. But there is a way you can unplug from this mass surveillance operation that Bill Gates probably doesn't want you to do. So if you're watching this anytime after October 14th, 2025, Microsoft has officially ended support for Windows 10 after 10 long and faithful years, RIP. Which doesn't mean it's not going to work anymore, but over time it's going to become more prone to incompatibility issues, viruses, and other unfixable errors, kind of forcing everyone, myself included, to switch to Windows 11, which Microsoft announced has a built-in program called Recall, powered by their AI Copilot assistant, that explicitly states it takes an image of your screen every few seconds to sort of act as a browser history, but for all of your PC activity. Yup, even your offline sessions are gonna be tracked, meaning you can sort of rewind and search through everything you've ever done on your computer using AI, which is kind of cool, but also kind of creepy. Microsoft claims the AI will run entirely locally, so like inside your computer, not on some remote cloud server that they have access to. And the screenshots will also be stored only on your own computer in an encrypted file. I mean, if you think you can take their word for it, sure, no judgment, but you really never know with tech giants these days. And it still does give actual hackers an easy way to access everything you've ever done on your computer. Everything. Luckily, you can opt out of this feature if you want, so be careful when installing it, as they probably hid it inside some recommended settings option that 90% of people are just going to choose. And in case you already upgraded to Windows 11, there is a way you can disable it at a root level. Here are the instructions. Screenshot it, save this video, you're welcome.
Richmond's City Hall, Gothic revival, a palace of stone and glass. According to the textbooks, built in the late 1800s by men with horse carts, pulleys, and chisels. But look at the details: copper domes weighing tons, marble cut with surgical precision, spires climbing skyward. Even today, with cranes, 3D software, and billion-dollar budgets, such feats take years. And yet, the story tells us, it was done in just a few years with primitive tools. Then, the absurd twist. Many of these masterpieces were demolished after only 20 or 30 years. Declared obsolete, outdated palaces of stone gone before their time. If the goal was utility, why such grandeur? If they were truly 19th century projects, why can't we rebuild them today with all our technology? Maybe because they were never ours to begin with. Perhaps they belong to another age, adopted, rebranded, and quietly erased. Charleston, 1901 to 1902. They called it the Interstate and West Indian Exposition. Boring name, right? Puts you to sleep, sounds like nothing. But look at the pictures, what do you see? A city, not some food stands, not a few carnival rides. A city, Cotton Palace, Ivory City. Sound familiar, just like Chicago's White City. They recycle the same trick, palace this, palace that. Palaces for pigs, palaces for cotton, palaces for bee, whatever, ridiculous. And the story they tell us? They had no money, not a dime. They begged for funds, no one gave them any. And then, bam, a Spanish Renaissance city rises on 250 acres. Cotton Palace, sunken garden, auditorium, manufacturer's building, names that scream grandeur. If you're broke, you don't build an ivory city. You put up some tents and call it a day. But no, they give us a capital of marble and towers. And then the ending, failure. Only 600,000 people came, they lost money. Over $1 million spent, only 30,000 earned back. And then demolished. Every last piece except one building, the women's building. That's the history they give us. But think, so much talk about attendance, about exhibits, but nothing about construction. No photos of building crews, no scaffolding. Just poof. A city exists, and then it doesn't. So again I ask, was this really a fair? Or is it just another fake story patched together to cover these inconvenient photographs?
Just when you think you've seen it all.
Just by the way, these World's Fairs, I don't know if you realize, but there's more than one. I mean, it's almost every year. You know, St. Louis, Chicago, New York, they're everywhere. Paris, everywhere around the world. And funny enough, recently I realized that they still go on today. Very interesting. I didn't know that. So if you guys want to look it up, they still go on today. So it seems like a very interesting timeline when it comes to these things. It's always the same thing, more or less. It's a short building period. Then you have the exposition, and then they destroy everything. They normally leave 1 or 2 buildings. And funny enough, everything is made to be temporary, but the buildings that they leave still stand today and are solid. So, I mean, for me, logically, it doesn't make sense. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that it's exactly what they said? I mean, because they said they built temporary cities built out of stucco, which is like drywall, basically, cement. And they just like basically make it look good. But like I said, the buildings that they left over are still there today and they're still standing strong. So for me, it causes quite an issue. What do you guys think about these World's Fair? Makes sense? Doesn't make sense? Let me know down below, and let's keep on rocking.
Here's some more awesome, innovative, and a little wacky inventions from the early 1900s. Though I'm not saying this proves the existence of advanced civilizations of our past, there's already more than enough evidence presented for that. I just think these videos really show the level of ingenuity and innovation the people from this time had. A period of time before our Rockefeller-style school systems stifled any of that creativity.
So today we're going to do a fun one, best cooking pans if you decide to eat cooked food. So the first one we start off with is copper tin. This was the old school way of cooking things, but they used low heat, which is an interesting way of cooking. Then we got the old carbon steel, which actually contains carbon, which is very beneficial. So this is one to look into. This was a real cool one that Tom Cowan talked about, Denobi Japanese clay pots. Earthen clay pots. Think about it, you're cooking with the earth. Then we got the traditional glassware, which is really cool when you get into vintage glassware and all the different types that they used to use. Then we have the old-fashioned cast iron. Not really one of my favorites because I think of all the rust. So something to think about, and how people have low iron while cooking with iron. Then we jump over to Teflon, which is backed by DuPont, the non-stick coating. Anything non-stick, throw it in the garbage. That's all that it should be. All of this is just poison, poisons birds, animals, small babies, the whole entire thing. So Teflon is a no-no. And we'll just hit on one last way, just eating raw. This is what I've been doing for about 7 months now, from the book We Want to Live by Jonas. You don't got to cook anything. So these are just some options if you decide to do any cooking.
America is a scam, y'all. America is a scam. You will not believe how much cheaper it is to shop in Germany than America, y'all. Y'all gotta watch this. This is actually depressing. If you are American, this is actually depressing. And is any other country in the world experiencing what America is experiencing right now? Let me know that in the comments below, y'all. This is crazy, but watch this.
Today I'm gonna show you how expensive drugstore products are in Germany. Starting out with shower gel for 55 cents, deodorant for 60 cents, toothpaste for 65 cents. Oh my god, this is crazy. Period pads for $1.95. Shampoo for 65 cents. I always love to show this. 10 rolls of toilet paper for $4.95. You can find a toothbrush for 75 cents, 4 hand towels for $2.95, makeup remover for 95 cents, and it's perfume free. Hand soap for 65 cents. It's so insane. Everything is so cheap here.
Let that sink in, you guys. This is the basic necessities that you need in order to get by in life, and yet America is making you put your life on the line. You have to open up a whole new credit card in order to buy basic necessities and groceries just to make it in this life. So is every other country living their own timeline? No one is playing by America's rules. So is America the only one that is dealing with these terrorists, these so-called terrorists? This is crazy.
Face wash for $1.95. Also face cream for $1.95. $1.95 is a special number here. Cheapest hair mousse, $1.15.
In the beginning of the year, I seen a lot of people saying that they're moving out of the United States, and I don't blame them, y'all. But something has to give. Something has to give, y'all. The shift is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
My brother Jay-Z, Team Rock.
I know it's just like cool information, and it's just surprising, and it's fun to see how much they're paying in Germany, but it truly makes me sad. Truly makes me sad that, you know, so many people signed up for this social contract, for this American dream, and somehow all the stipulations and all the clauses changed, but we're still stuck in the same contract, you know? I find it so sad. All these things, like he was saying, are more or less basic stuff that you need, and it's like we're getting gouged every way, shape, form, side, you know, like it feels like there's still some sort of respect for the consumer there. Now, don't get me wrong, she probably wasn't in a high class store. Maybe she was even at a dollar store type place, you know, but even at that, we don't get those types of prices whatsoever. So I find it super sad to see how we're getting treated, you know, like our social contract is null and void because everything changed, but it's like we're still stuck here getting paid the same thing, needing to buy all these things, you know. So I don't know if you guys agree with me. Let me know what you guys think. How are the prices where you live? Are they better than before? Are they worse than before? Are they like Germany? Are they more like the States? Let me know down below. Let's compare and let's keep on rocking.
Adam Blackstone, Hell's Kitchen, the Most High.
Good evening, godless sodomite. Kneel before your God, Babylon! Taking me the highest paid, megalomaniacal boy king in all of Babylon!
You see, if you go and visit the very home of the Oscars, where they hold it each year, you can see a plaque on the wall that says the Babylonian Court. The camera shows you the stage, and you see an unmistakable Tower of Babel embedded into the design. Outside of the Kodak Theater, you have the gates to Ishtar, and you have Babylonian gods put on the outside of the gates. They have the exact elephants. They have the same exact gate of Ishtar. They have the same exact Babylonian gods over the top of the gates.
A lot of people come up here and they thank Jesus for this award. I want you to know that no one had less to do with this award than Jesus. He didn't help me a bit. So all I can say is, suck it, Jesus. This award is my God now.
I'm thankful to the Oscar gods.
The other names of the gentlemen are all gods as far as the category concerned.
When you get this little golden statue, you become a star.
Speaking of spiritual warfare and spiritual dimensions, 2 stories about people that have taken.
That was interesting. I had never seen the occult symbology behind the Oscars. Very interesting. It's pretty obvious, huh, nowadays? I mean, of course, nowadays we're more informed and we're able to compare things and we have more pictures. Yes. But even at that, I feel like there's something. I feel like the veil is lifting. I feel like the same things that they would have said before we would have been clueless and just went with the show. And now somehow it seems like we have a bit more of what I call divine discernment. I don't know if you guys agree, but did you guys know about the Oscars and about all that symbology? All the reverence towards Ishtar, all the mentioning of Babylon, the incorporation of the Tower of Babel, even the way they speak when they talk about gods. Let me know down below, and let's keep on rocking.
Salvia, truly nightmare fuel. I was in this college, this guy smoked some salvia, laid back, and all of a sudden he woke up, but he was a child, and he lived his entire life. He was a child, teenager, went through everything, got married, had kids, grew old, had to bury his wife, became a grandparent, and then died of old age, basically, and then woke up at his college where he smoked salvia, and it broke his mind.
How could it not?
And he was weeping because he's like, that life wasn't real. I had kids that I loved. This next story, I would say, is even scarier.
Oh no.
Great. This guy, also college age, smoked salvia, and he was like basically transported to where he's standing on the side of the road, and he was just standing there. Then all of a sudden he turned into a stone pillar, and he was a milestone, like a mile marker stone for 300 years.
What?
And he said he watched the forest change. He watched horse and buggy, and eventually turned into cars and a highway. And then after 300 years, a construction crew came and tore him down, and he woke up.
Bro, you go and try to get stoned, you become one. I mean, that's what's gonna happen. I mean, like, think about claustrophobia. Like, you have a full intellectual mind, yet you're stuck like that
for 300 years.
Straight up terrifying.
There was an altar found in Israel. Joshua's altar was excavated, and they took the spoils from it. They find this little lead tablet about that big, and they know that something's going on with this. Because of computers and where we are, they're able to read what the script says. Joshua's altar is built right at the gateway to the promised land, and it says this: cursed, cursed, cursed. Cursed of Yahweh. Cursed, cursed, cursed. So I was on a Zoom call with the archaeologist in Israel when he did the presentation on this. I threw a curveball, and I said, I understand where it is. I understand I'm going against, but this is not to the people of Israel. This cursed tablet is to the people in the land. And also, when it says Yahweh, it's the first time that Yahweh is mentioned anywhere. And the archaeologists, we got to go back to school. What are we looking at here? It's all written in Proto-Canaanite, which of course I can't be, but they can. In my opinion, this cursing is to the inhabitants of the land, which are of a seed of the dragon, which are of a Nephilim tribes, which were never supposed to be there.
Wow.
And right, it just goes like this.
Yeah.
It just goes like this.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, the more you dig, it all just connects.
Y'all look, it's $33 because she put her American Express. They scamming.
Okay, so I went through and read through Uber's terms of use, and they can actually do this. Okay, so here's what's going on. The person was trying to call an Uber in Atlanta, and they quoted her $33 when she used her American Express, but then when she switched her payment to Visa, then it became $20. Weird. Now, according to an Uber spokesperson, they say that we want to be clear that Uber's pricing tech does not set different prices for riders according to the payment type they use. But that is not what their terms of service says, okay? It says right here, quote, prices for product or menu items displayed through the services may not be the lowest price at which the product or menu items are sold. And that Uber is a, quote, personalized digital marketplace platform, meaning prices specifically tailored to you. Also, a lot of Amex cards offer an annual Uber credit. For example, this gold card offers cardholders $120 of Uber cash per year. But now some travel bloggers are reporting that Uber is also charging higher prices if you have those credits in your account. And Uber's terms of service also allows this as well. It says right here, quote, certain users may from time to time receive promotional offers and discounts that result in different amounts charged for the same or similar services of goods obtained through the use of the services. The lesson here is always read the fine print, people.
Man, it feels like we're really close to a society that uses dynamic pricing. Oh, you're this skin color, it's this price. Oh, you live on this block, it's this price. I'm very scared of that. I find that it's a pretty slippery slope to get down. And second of all, we have to watch out. You know, they use our our desire for a promotion to mess with us, but you also have to know what the value of things are, because we've caught companies now over and over on Black Friday and stuff like that. They just mark up the price, put down the percentage, comes out to the same, and everyone's going crazy, you know? So try to figure out, you know, if is it a good deal or is it not? And this here, you have no way to know, but okay, we'll give you 120 credit, but every ride you buy is going to be $10 more. We have to be careful. We have to be careful. And that also ties in with the AI. They wouldn't be able to real time process all the data and then give you a dynamic pricing that makes sense if they didn't have this AI and all the data points that we give them. So I don't know what you guys think. Do you guys think that this dynamic pricing, these promotions, and the inclusion of AI is going to get us in a very sticky situation? Or do you guys think it's better like this, and that finally we're going to have customized basically prices for everyone? Let me know down below. This was the end of it. Thank you so much for rocking with us. And that's a wrap for today, familia. Whether you're tuning in with the sunrise or you're posted up after midnight, I appreciate your time, your energy, your curiosity. And don't forget, this isn't about truth or fiction. This is about perspective. If this sparked a thought, a laugh, a deeper question, then we did our job. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Keep the convo alive. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you're riding a wave, because we're just getting started. Until next time, stay grounded, stay weird, stay critical. I'm Adam Strain, and this has been Adam Strain Reacts. Peace. Now it's time for us to link up. Really think we on the brink up. Making a change from living this strange.